Welcome to a miscellaneous Let's Play here on the channel. Today, and at the moment, I'm coming off of just having spent 5 hours recording the initial version of my Crowsworn Backer Demo Let's Play. Now, the reason why this is the version you're seeing today is because the first version didn't go so well. If I click Start Game here, you'll see I have 100%, spent about 4 hours, 18 minutes in the game getting the first Let's Play recorded. The problem was the first couple hours of that was pretty good. I had about 20 minutes worth of boss attempts that I could have cut out of it, but overall the rest of it was decent. The problem was that the actual recording for that initial Let's Play was about 5 hours long, and about 2.5 to 3 hours of that, the whole basically back half, if not a little bit more than that, was really rough. There were a couple problems that I was having with locating some items and backtracking and stuff like that, which meant that portions that would have to be cut were not necessarily super attractive for me from an editing perspective to have to go back to, but also more importantly, were not going to be super fun to watch. And in terms of splitting up the Let's Play into multiple videos, it wasn't going to work out very well. It was going to be very haphazardly structured, just generally a very poor video. As a result, I'm re-recording the whole thing with knowledge of what the game's about, so not only is this sort of a Let's Play, it's not a blind playthrough, unfortunately, but that first version is just not good enough to post in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not going to do that. This Let's Play is going to be partially a guide where I might not remember everything, I might not remember all 100% of this, but I will probably have remembered enough of it that any backtracking and whatnot I can pretty easily cut out in the end product and not have too much of a struggle. For those of you wondering, unfortunately, this demo is for Kickstarter backers only, so because I backed the Kickstarter, I have access to the demo. In fact, couple years ago at this point on the channel, and for the last year and a half I've been meaning to get to this, I've already played the Kickstarter boss demo, where there was a specific boss of the game that was put out early for Kickstarter backers, and I did a short video of that. It's not a great video, it's definitely not going to be as good as this one's going to be, not that this one's going to necessarily be that good, but even so, I think we're going to have a fun time, and I should probably have more fun of a time the second go around than I did the first time. That is almost certain. So let's go ahead and jump into things here. And I'm going to go ahead and select the bottom save slot this time instead of the top one. Now that I know what's going on, hopefully this is only a couple of hours rather than, 4 to 5 hours. So let's go ahead and give this a start. I hope you guys enjoy. Oh yeah, that's something that I should note. Kind of what this, this screen here says. The levels and scenarios are unique and will not be present in the final game. They're designed to be an approximate representation of the final product. So there's some certain scaling and stuff here that's going on that's a little bit weird. There's a couple design choices that are a little bit messy, and I'm sure I'll comment on some of those as we come to them. But overall, this is a unique experience, just a couple of hours long. That's all that it is. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's start off with a cutscene. Which may or may not be cut off partway through the middle of it. It seemed pretty randomly cut off the first time that I played it. I'll see if there's any extra portion to it this time. Yeah, that's where it cut off the first time. That seems a little bit of a strange place to cut. It seems almost unintentional. But the first time I played, I accidentally went to the left side to just go exploring because I figured that we would be going right to start just like we always do. But I don't have any tools, so we have to go left anyway. I can't punch any of these crystals either, so we're just going to continue on. I have my controller schemed, my controller scheme, I guess, all of the buttons and stuff mapped out more or less approximately to how Hollow Knight keeps their controller layout, just because that's kind of what I'm familiar with. That's what I played a lot of, and watching this game, you'll probably see there's plenty of design choices that are pretty familiar to how Hollow Knight appears. Let's open this chest and pick up our Corvian Scythe. Press square to attack. Holding different directional inputs while attacking will perform different attacks. So that means I can attack up, left, right, and then I can attack down if I so choose. So I can go ahead and open this door. We're going to drop down here. We're going to collect us some animus, because that's what this material is called, apparently. I'm going to be trying to collect as much of that here in the early game as possible so that I don't have to be grinding any of that out to get a little bit of the extra items later on for the 100%. Of course, we're going to struggle with this just a little bit because I think the first boss of the game is still somewhat difficult in its own right, and therefore oh, crap. That's a door there, so I'm going to have to walk back there. Here I am, already wasting time. How splendid. Even so, as I was saying, we're going to maybe have to grind a tiny bit of animus. Fortunately, it's actually not super difficult to acquire very much of it, especially not in the later portion of the game. In certain areas, we get a little bit more of it. Here's a mithril ore, a chunk of mithril ore, a material commonly used by blacksmiths. We're going to be acquiring every item of this in the game. I believe there's a total of 12 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I might be exaggerating that number, however. It might be 9. I forget off the top of my head. But even so, we're going to be collecting all those. We're going to be collecting plenty of animus so that when we meet a certain shopkeeper later in the demo, holy cow, the enemy's right there. When we meet a certain shopkeeper, we can acquire all of the items basically right off the bat. Not quite right off the bat, but as close to right off the bat as we can manage. I do not have a wall jump ability quite yet. I won't be getting that until later. It's going to be the problem with doing this immediately after, more or less immediately, about an hour, half hour after having completed the first, my first attempt at this. We're going to pick up here the Carrion Flask. Press circle to replenish lost hit points. Empty flasks can be refilled by attacking enemies, which is great. Basically the entirety of my first playthrough, I ran with only one of these flasks because I wasn't able to get all of the ore very quickly to make up for needing, for being able to acquire a second flask. You can get a second flask in this demo, and that's what I'm looking to get a little bit earlier to make my life a little bit easier, because when we get to a certain smith, I can't get up there yet because I don't have the wall jump. We have to go down here first. When we meet a certain smith, we'll be able to upgrade our weapon and also give ourselves a second flask. The first time I played, I gave myself the upgraded weapon, which was really nice, I will admit. Oh, I didn't mean to get hit by that. But I confess, I'm definitely considering instead... Oh man, that was supposed to go a little bit better than that. I'm definitely considering, instead of going for the increased damage, going for the increased flask, because the second flask will just be super helpful. Even with lower damage, it'll be nicer to just be able to keep up against enemies a little bit better. I'm gonna pogo off this enemy to give ourselves a few... Ow! Okay, let's heal here. You'll notice down in that left corner a little symbol with a number 16. That is how many hits on enemies I need to make in order to refill my flask. Unfortunately, in this early game, without the extra damage and stuff, it is pretty difficult to kill some of these enemies. Like, these shield enemies are particularly annoying. I definitely don't like them very much. So maybe I'll go for the increased damage first anyway. It's probably a wise move to go ahead and do that. Just get rid of enemies faster. But I can't lie, having a second flask would be super nice for certain portions, so I don't have to kind of like backtrack for the purpose of healing. Just let me hurt you. Stop parrying my attack, dude. And of course, he hurts me first. There's a certain upgrade that I can get a little bit later that will give me the ability to, it will give me a little bit more range on my weapon. Looking forward to getting that, because that makes fighting some of the enemies, particularly like that shield enemy, way easier, because I can knock them back pretty easy, all of that kind of stuff. This will be how we get out of a little shortcut when we go further down this portion of the level. I'm remembering some things, that's for sure, but that's because I just played the game. Here we have, oh, Keeper, that's what he's called. In my first playthrough, I kept on calling him the Herald, so I'll call him the Keeper this time. Hopefully I remember. Blood of my blood. What you see before you is but a shadow of my former self. Once a proud keeper, now condemned to servitude as a custodian of souls. Such is my penance. Despite these unfortunate circumstances, I believe I can be of service to you. Commune with me and I shall fill you with life anew. So we'll commune, and this is our way of sort of like a quick save, you could say. Do you feel it? Your life force has been restored. If you ever find yourself with open wounds, be sure to seek me out. Cool, and that will be a sort of quick save. That's where we'll respawn in the case that we die ever. I believe going into here, yeah, this is going to be where we fight our first boss. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, that is for sure. We'll see how much of our animus we lose in the battle, because of course, you know, you don't get to keep everything. This is in a way a Souls-like. Unfortunately, there's no way to reacquire what you lose in this game, but because it's animus and because animus replenishes pretty easily overall, it's not that big of a deal, but you do lose about a third of what you have every time you die. So it slowly starts to dwindle. The more animus you have, the more you lose the first couple times you die. So there's a little bit of that take there. Let's go ahead and move into the boss fight. I suppose we should summon it by here. I already had forgotten the boss fight at this point. We'll see how many attempts this takes. Because I definitely didn't do super well the first time. I didn't do terribly, but it took several attempts just on account of me being really stupid and silly. Ooh, I nearly got hit by that, that is for sure. Avoid the charge. Oh, should have been able to avoid that. I did not, unfortunately. I wonder if I'll be able to get this first try. Just because, oh, I rolled right into that stone. I also rolled right into him. Let's go ahead and heal. I want to avoid having rocks fall right on top of me. Okay, cool. First try, just on account of familiarity. I believe it took me probably about, I want to say, probably somewhere in the 5 to 7 tries or so is probably what it took the first time. Not necessarily proud to admit that it took that many times, but it definitely took a little bit. I'm not particularly great at these kinds of games. I'm not very good at Hollow Knight, for example. I believe I got up to right around 106 to 108% in that game, but that's about it. I never got much further than that because once I had to fight Grim, not even the Nightmare King version, just regular Grim, I started to really struggle, and at that point I'd kind of had enough of the game. It was like, okay, I'm done. I can consider 106% enough for me. So that was where I ended up stopping at that point in time. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. That loop just brings me back up here so that I can get back to the Keeper, not the Herald. He is the Keeper. And then we're going to backtrack a tiny bit back to where we spawned, actually. I'm going to go ahead and come to him here. Give myself my little flask back up. That dot underneath my health bar over on the right side is what that is. So we'll come up here. We'll take a look at the map. Yeah, we're going to come up and go all the way back to the left again because there's an item that I can grab in that sort of left of the map area where we spawn and where we can get the scythe, for example. I'm going to go back up and grab a pretty hidden item. That's a lie, actually. There's an item that I can grab down here in the boss chamber, come to think of it. Very hidden item. Pretty tricksy, this one is. Not particularly great telegraphing that there could be anything up here. But, you know, that's kind of how these games roll sometimes. Not too worried about it. But it is worth noting that, you know, occasionally the game is slightly more obtuse than I would like. That is for sure. But even so, like, it's hard to imagine that somebody would think to climb this wall this early. And it'll take a few attempts to do it. Just to be able to come up to here, find this secret area. Now, there's this barrel here. We'll crush that, and that'll allow us to pick up equipment collected, Titanic Descent, unlock powerful abilities by augmenting your body with the appendages that you discover. Use the crafting menu to configure your loadout. Good to note. Now, recall this house here and notice what might be missing right here. It seems like there's missing a doorbell, or more specifically, a bell. That's going to be important a little bit later. So, now that we've collected that item, we're going to come back again. In fact, I should actually go to my crafting menu now to show you that we have some things that we can attach to us on our arms, our torso, our head. Because we have this leg item, we're going to attach that. It takes about half of the weight capacity that we have. For every point that you are over encumbered in this game, it'll allow you to be over encumbered, but it takes away one of your health points. You cannot possibly be at complete health without that. So you end up in a condition of, for example, with my 5 hit points that I have, that would come down to 4 if I were to put myself up to 5 encumbrances as opposed to the 4 limit that I currently have. In this demo, 4 is the limit that we get, so you have very limited options for what you can actually use, what you can actually wear in the demo. That's okay. Nothing too offensive about that, of course. Man, my timing is not working to hurt this guy. Good grief. You know what? I'm just not even going to bother with you right now. I'm up this side. Okay, this is basically how we continue, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, I don't want to do this right now, actually. Took a few extra attempts to hit than I thought it would take. So we're coming up this direction now. I believe... good grief. I'll tell you what, the jumps in this game are really floaty. It's kind of strange, actually. It feels a little weird sometimes. There's one particular, like, obstacle that we kind of have to deal with later in the game that can be a bit of a struggle as a result of this floaty jump. And also on account of just, to be honest, a little bit of poor design in one particular area, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But the jump is definitely very floaty, which is cool, but tough to get used to. Especially when you, like, actually kind of need it. Good grief. Sometimes these guys take, like, 3 hits to kill, and sometimes it's 4. I think your combo adds up in this game. Ooh, that was dangerous. I think the combos add up in this game where like a 3-hit combo would do more damage than 3 individual hits, which of course makes sense, but that means that it can be a little bit tedious if you don't quite have the capabilities for your damage yet. Yeah, see, like sometimes it's really quick and easy to kill enemies, and sometimes it's really difficult. But we're sitting pretty good so far, given that we did not die a single time to the boss, so I've not lost any animus, which is great. We're definitely going the right direction where we came. I'm trying to do all of the earlier portions of backtracking that I can as early as possible for, you know, the obvious reason of wanting to avoid wasting too much time in this video. I don't want to have another 5-hour recording that doesn't need to be 5 hours long. I think I could definitely have this particular Let's Play way down. Another thing to note about this game, at least in the backer version, this is the secret that I needed. I need to be able to wall jump to be able to come up here. One of the other weird things about this game is... What am I even thinking at this point? I forgot what I was going to say, so we're just going to ignore it. Here we have obtained the vial of gold. We will need that for later. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. The crystals that we keep on breaking to get the animus, they just keep on respawning all the time. If you take a little while in between go-arounds, you can get a lot of animus just by wandering around the map and, you know, going far away to other areas and then coming back to areas where there's already animus. It doesn't take much to get a lot of animus in this game. At least in the demo version of the game, anyway. Let's go ahead and collect that. And then we have a couple different ways we can go. We can go up this way, which will take us up basically to the next area. I don't want to go that way yet, because that's like the next actual full area. We're going to go back up to where we were about to go just a moment ago, so that we can come back around and get this. That will be very helpful for later, so we don't have to get it later. So we're going to do that now. Moving right along. Yeah, so forgive me if I, break a lot of stuff in the roots, like these barrels and stuff like that. These animus crystals, obviously, I'm going to break all those that I can. It's just going to be useful for later when we can, have all the animus that we need rather than having to backtrack to do any. So on these little pods, we're going to pogo jump, or going to attempt to. This is kind of what I mean by the floatiness of the jump. It can be a little bit weird to get used to. Ow. I guess I'll heal there. One of the weird obstacle related things that you can pogo on these spikes, kind of like you can in Hollow Knight, but this set of spikes here on the wall, you can't pogo on spikes that are on walls for some reason. That becomes an issue a little bit later with one of the items that we need to acquire for 100%, that we need to acquire to get 100% for two different reasons. But of course, we'll also talk about that later. It gets a little bit weird. I don't know why it is that that's a design. I hope the devs fix that for the full game, or at least it's not designed around having to, do some pogos and stuff like that when you pretty much literally can't pogo in some situations. Good grief, will you just let me hit you? I'll tell you what, I take for granted having the extra range when I have the body part that allows me to do that, because wow, these guys are much harder to fight without that particular item. Not worth it. Like, these enemies are actually really annoying to fight without that extra item. I'm gonna go ahead and just continue on here. We'll acquire this health shard. That is 1/4 of the shard. At least I have full health now. So we'll go ahead and fight these guys again anyway. It's gonna take all my health and my healing to do it. I'm wanting to fight this guy so I can get healing, and it's probably not actually going to help me because I'm going to have to use it immediately anyway. Fantastic. Okay, I guess that's not too bad. Yeah, there we go. So that is that item. We can now continue on. I suppose I should have just done that before I even went back and got the vial of gold. It would have saved me a little bit time to do it that way. Didn't fully realize that would be the case. For a second, I thought that going that way for the health shard would just be, the way to continue on rather than this direction. So that's on me for sure. Oh yeah, I don't believe I have 100% in this area quite yet, but I'm definitely coming close to it. Those balls kind of like bounce around when you hit them to get crystals, so you have to be a little bit more mindful about how you hit them. Around these wheels, there's a place we can drop off here, and that's for a specific door that we're going to look at. There is an item that we need to acquire for here. We will come back later when we have it. Something seems to be missing from this door. We will come back when we have the item for it. So there's going to be a little bit of backtracking now and again in the game regardless. But for now, I just wanted to show you that before we moved on. I believe I'd probably spent upwards of an hour already in the game by the time I was coming to this point in my initial recording. Maybe not quite an hour, probably more like 45 minutes, as opposed to about 25 minutes in my recording right now. So that's some good progress, if I do say so myself. Definitely a little bit more efficiency. Man, I do not like fighting these guys at all. I hate them. They're so annoying. And then here we have something that's important to note. Oh, we can't go this way. I don't even know why they designed this. I really don't. This part has me confused a little, I gotta admit. There's nothing that this area serves except for giving you access to this. But because you can just float up on here anyway, I guess, okay, never mind. I can see why. If you don't have the capability, if you don't have the ability that allows you to dive through these downstreams, I guess you kind of have to go around there. But, so come to think, it does actually make sense. Whereas the first time I was playing, I was like, why in the world did they even include this here like this? It doesn't make sense. So, there we go. That is the, man, what are they called? The Forsaken Mines Complete. If I'm not mistaken, I should actually double check, make sure that I have the stuff that the map says I should have. Yeah, 1 and 1, that's perfectly fine. Now we're in the Thorned Capital. That is the area we're in now. And we need to get 4 ore from here. And there's 2 places where we can meet the Keeper, so we'll look for those. There's definitely a lot more stuff going on in this area. It can be a little bit more complicated to find our way around and get all of the things. We'll flip that switch to allow us to take this air current up a little bit further. Some of those things, some of those air currents will be important for later once we get another ability fairly soon. Actually, I don't even remember when it is we get the ability. Here's a new weapon, or rather enemy type. There's various enemies. There's these dagger ones, like this. There was that one that was like an archer, but he also has melee capabilities, or melee attacks as well. We'll go ahead and acquire this from this item here, whatever it is. Mithril ore, that's one of the 4 ore that we need from this location. So that is good to know. Go ahead and climb up here again. I guess I'll heal so that I can start getting attacks in other places. Come over to the left on this side and have plenty more animus that I can collect. That'll be helpful. I already have almost 700 animus. That is very nice. And here's an enemy. That was a cheap shot, buddy. That's what you get for taking a cheap shot. This lever here will just turn off this particular air for the moment, or rather it'll close a gate down below. In fact, I'll just go ahead and show you. This will close down this gate so that we can jump down into this area when we need it. When the time runs out, it'll open back up again and allow us up. So there's that. Coming to think of it, there's going to be a particular gauntlet room that we're about to meet here very soon, actually, that's kind of a pain in the butt without damage. So we'll commune with the Keeper again to heal. Dispatch a couple of enemies here, hopefully without taking damage. There we go. And man, this is probably going to be tough. I really don't want to die here. I'm going to ignore this enemy for now because we already have to fight a couple versions of that enemy a little bit later. Yeah, going to activate that. Activate the trap. Ow. I forgot that that's the kind of attack. I was expecting these to be a little bit more like a couple of the enemies in Hollow Knight, forgetting that they shot their needles rather than diving towards you. I keep mistiming my dodges like an absolute buffoon. Ow. You guys are annoying, you know that? Anyway. Now that we've dealt with that, let's interact with the chest again. Oop, mistimed that. Mistimed it again. And then we'll pick up Carnage Incarnate. Okay, this will be pretty nice to have. First thing we'll do here is we'll come back to where the Keeper's at. Take a few rolls to do it. I will come over to here and I'll actually equip this, because what it does, its eyes have witnessed the ruination of 1,000 empires. Damage increases based on hit points lost. So that means that if I happen to have a couple hit points down in the middle of this upcoming gauntlet fight, it's not too bad of a fight, but there's a few more enemies than I would like in there for sure. It's a bit difficult. I think when I beat it the first time, it was more luck than anything. But with, you know, this ability to do slightly increased damage according to having a couple of hit points lost. Holy cow, I barely avoided that. we should be able to do good. But instead of entering that gauntlet now, we're gonna jump up to here, a hidden area where the smith is at. It's a very unfortunate location, like very well hidden, too hidden even. Brocker says, I may be blind, but don't think I can't hear you messing with my bedding. And that's all he has to say. Let's talk to Brock. Wait, is that not the same name as the other guy? Oh, well, whatever. Heard but unseen. You have found my home where I continue my craft. I've been listening to this anvil for so long I can barely remember when I started. I guess that suggests that you're supposed to be able to find this place by hearing it. If that's the case, I definitely didn't hear it outside either of these 2 times. I'm going to test that here in just a moment. Is there something I can do for you? Yeah, I would like to get the sharpened scythe now for the sake of my sanity. Or the carrion flask, but I need 5 and 4, so we need 9 mithril ore to be able to get both of these items over the game. I only have 2 for now and can't get any more at the moment, so we're just gonna have to, you know, move on for now. You know where to find me. There we go. Yeah, just standing out here, you can't hear the smith. If you could hear the smith, like down here, like walking past, hear him hammering away, that would be actually not a terrible place to hide it. But because you can't, who's going to think to jump up here? Not very many people. Definitely not me, that's for sure. Oh, we're going to try to dispatch this guy immediately. Do a very poor job of it. In fact, I'm definitely going to die here. Heal now. Take care of this guy soon. Yeah, this gauntlet can be really tough, so I'm probably going to die here a few times, which sucks. Gonna lose definitely a solid chunk of my animus. Not particularly great. It's my first death. In communion you have been reborn. Be wary, this ritual is not without cost. A portion of your animus has been consumed in the process. About, I guess it seems if you have very large quantities of it, it's more like a quarter of it. But when you have smaller quantities, about a third of it disappears. Or maybe, you know, the amount of it that disappears kind of changes. Either way, it doesn't really matter. All I really know or care about is that I'm losing animus, and I don't want to lose that much more of it. I would like to be able to keep as much of it as possible. So we're going to try this again. Try to dodge his attacks a little bit better and absolutely fail miserably at it. Heal before the next guy shows up. Try to brute force my way through them. Again, try to dispatch this main guy first. Heal. There we go. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Second attempt is definitely acceptable. Means I didn't actually lose that much animus. Only about 200, which is still a lot, mind you, but not so much that it's really going to affect us in the long run. So there's all of that. We'll take it. Let us move on. Before we go down in this elevator, where, oh, I guess I'll let it go down by doing that. There is a secret area, I guess, up top with a second elevator where we can use this to go up. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I discovered this on accident in the first run, which I'll take. Getting it on accident is better than nothing. Blossom key. We're going to be able to use this to enter a certain area, certain specific area in, you know, the whatever this area is called. There's a specific spot that we can go that will require the key. I forget if that key is earlier in the level or later. It's earlier in the level. Yeah. Let's go ahead and actually go back that direction now. Do I want to go back that direction now, or can I save it for later? I forget what it is specifically that I can get with the key, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back now. Do it earlier than later. It's probably going to end up wasting time in the long run doing it like this, but so I apologize. But doing it like this will give me a little bit of peace of mind in that, like I said, I have no idea actually what it is that I actually get from using the key, where the key can be used. And in case it's something like incredibly useful. Oh man, I just aggroed you on accident. Am I gonna no-hit you? Probably not, because I said that, huh? Yep. So there's an obstacle obstructing my jump. Oh well. I got plenty of hits for a heal, so we'll hit that. You'll notice there's another symbol down there with the number 2. That's to indicate that I have, you know, 2 health missing, and therefore my damage is increased by whatever the number is that it increases by based off of that. If I were to take another hit, that would go up. If I were to fully heal, that would go back down to 0. We're going to head this direction and go... Ow. Didn't want to take that hit. Oh. Yeah, okay. So I'm going the right direction. I need to go a little bit further right. The other nice thing about backtracking like this now means that I'm reacquiring basically all of the animus that I lost without much effort. So we're going to roll out of here into this direction. And we can use the key here. Blossom key used. We're going to hit this chest. What is it that we get from here? This is going to be Thornwrath Carapace. Okay, so it's just an armor item. Not terribly useful. Not necessarily worth it for me. Because, like, I'll take the extra damage from this rather than the extra damage from rolling, for example, because I'm more likely to take damage and therefore get use out of the extra damage that I can use by having health lost, rather than, you know, every once in a while being able to roll and do like a tiny amount of damage to an enemy with a thorn if it hits the enemy. So not quite worth it, but for the 100% we need it anyway, so not going to complain too much. Like I said, it's nice to have extra animus anyway, or rather to acquire extra animus by coming this direction, breaking more pots, defeating a couple enemies. So I will take it. The more items that I can buy from that one guy, the better. The merchant that we'll meet a little bit later, the more items that I can buy from him at once will be much more useful to me. So we're gonna go ahead and, yeah, I've already grabbed the items from this room. So I'm going to continue on yet again. Okay, which direction do I want to go now? I'm pretty sure I went this direction, right? Yeah, that's where I got the one crystal. That's where it was, so. We will continue on yet again. Deeper and deeper into the abyss. This time we will go down into a new area. This new area is called the Grey Mausoleum, and I really don't like it here. I don't like any of the enemies. So the first thing that we're going to do in this area is try to acquire an item that is very frustrating to try to get. Can sometimes take several attempts just on account of poor design. You remember me talking about how you can't use the spikes? If they're on the wall, you can't pogo off of spikes on the wall for some reason. We're going to go ahead and illuminate this. That will be 1% of our 100 later. I can't believe I hit that. That's embarrassing. I'll jump over this. And then in this very next area here, there is an item over there you'll see. Oh, I already summoned this guy. Oh, I got it first try. Now I just need to kill this guy. Thank goodness I got it first try. The first time it's so frustrating. These spikes on the wall here, you can't pogo on. So you have to use that enemy or a similar enemy to pogo off of to be able to get over here. That is the only way you can get it. So we got this mithril ore here. Thank goodness, that makes my life so much easier. It's actually really, really, really nice. Okay, so going up here is going to take us basically to the area that we need to go, but there's a handful of items that we can acquire going this direction. There's plenty of stuff to do over here. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, essentially. Let's attract you, so I don't have to deal with you and your friend over later. I like having upgraded scythes so that I can kill these guys in 2 hits instead of 3. And these guys in 3 hits instead of like 4 or 5. But we'll just kind of take it as we get it. Oh, right, we have to go around a direction. So this we'll be able to go through a little bit later, but we have to go through a shortcut. You see these like little swinging arm things trying to do us damage. Yeah, those aren't particularly great. Go ahead and kill this guy here. We have to kind of maneuver our way through several of them. I forgot about you. There's probably an item over here that I forgot about in this case. Or perhaps not. Just you. That's fine. So we have the time where we stand in accordance to these. The hitboxes on these are pretty deceiving. They have really great range, and the wagging speed doesn't help anything. So you have to just kind of make your way through them pretty well. We don't actually have the ability that we require to be able to get something from this tunnel later, so we're not even going to enter it for now. So we're just going to ignore it, but we're going to try our best to make it. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll heal now, I guess. This part was a little bit frustrating my first time around, just trying to time it, trying to figure out where it is that you're supposed to do stuff when. It can be a little difficult. Like, you kind of just have to go through like one at a time and hope that you're like going in at the right time and not get hit. I got hit one time there. It's possible to get hit 0 times, but it is not particularly easy. Okay, yeah, this is the little shortcut that we go back to. So then we don't have to go through those arms again just to drop down and get that one item that we need to get later with an ability that we are yet to obtain. So this is what things look like for now. Ow, I totally forgot about this enemy. Annoying, they reach their hands through the ground and hurt us. But yeah, there's that. There's this here. Doesn't seem like we can do anything with that, but we will be able to here in pretty much just a moment once I activate a specific something. Here's this here. Fight one more enemy. And hitting this, launching that switch, allows us to come down here. It attaches to here. Now we're able to pick up another mithril ore. That's pretty nice. So we now have both mithril ores from the Grey Mausoleum, which is great. We don't quite have all 3 of the keeper spawns that we can get. We'll get another one of those a little bit later here, pretty soon actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But for now, this is where we're at. Oh, ow, I did not see you there. Suppose I should have healed before I attacked him so that I could get a free hit there. Here's a couple more animus that we can acquire. That's nice. Let's continue climbing up here. Start to use so I can see where I'm going just a little bit. Okay. I forget exactly where it is I am because once I was done with this spot the first time around, I was like done basically. Oh, I know what's down here. This is another health shard. Well, definitely take that before I move on. That'll be useful. Last time I played through this without getting a health shard, or without actually getting a 6th segment of health at all, because I didn't even get the last health shard until after I beat the 2nd and final boss of the demo, which kind of sucked. But now we're here. I believe I've gotten everything that I can up to this point. I really hope so anyway. We're gonna go ahead and climb this all the way up. You see this little guy? It's pretty creepy. We're going to be dealing with that in just a second. This is the ability that I was talking about that we needed. Going to interact and see a short cutscene. A pretty slightly laggy cutscene in some degree. Stab our hands on something for absolutely no reason at all. Ouch. And for some reason that gives us the ability to Corvian Slam. Gather malice by damaging enemies with the scythe. Hold down and press triangle mid-air to perform the Corvian Slam. So this is how we are able to navigate a couple more areas of the game. We can use this or these statues. There's, I believe, one other one of these in the game to fully acquire our malice. That's that symbol in the top left, and we can use this to go down through these air streams. So that is what that's about. I'm gonna go ahead and commune with you again to fully up my my malice. And then we're going to go back the other direction. But I guess I'm going to grab the item that I can get down, you know, south, the very bottom of the Grey Mausoleum, since I have the ability now. That'll save me some backtracking time, that's for sure. I definitely wasted a lot of time with backtracking the first time around. Got to be pretty frustrating at a couple of points. In fact, I would say, like I said, probably about of the 5-hour recording that I initially did, I would say a solid, what, like 2 to 2.5 hours of that was just a complete waste of time based off like backtracking, failed boss attempts, that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I do have to go through this. Search you so I don't have to deal with you. Stand here, stand here, stand here. Wait. Okay, yeah, this is right. I need to come into here. So, in here is a long tunnel that does not appear to have anything in it except for maybe an enemy at the very end. Problem is, if you pay attention, you'll notice there's a couple of the skulls here rattling. Pretty hard to notice. I definitely didn't notice it at first. We can slam down and use it to come into a special little tunneled area where we will be able to grab another item. In fact, I wonder if there's even 2 items down here. I forget off the top of my head, but there's definitely something that we can get down here, something that we need for the full completion. Oh, I somehow did not get damaged by that guy. Ooh, barely did not get hit by him. So we're in here now. Oh, I forgot that we have to do another gauntlet. That's mildly annoying. Just gonna use my slam a couple times because I have it. Okay, this is going much better than it did the first time around. Thank goodness. Yeah, that's great. Now we have an item. I totally forgot that that was a little gauntlet there. So now we'll pick up the Rotting Leech Palm, which I believe is a very good item. I forget off the top of my head. Rotting Leech Palm decreases the number of hits required to fill empty carrion flasks. We're going to go ahead and equip this and unequip the leg for now. Just so that we're not over encumbered. Because I do not feel like the leg is particularly useful with my playstyle. Maybe it is, I haven't really quite noticed. I'll be able to use that leg a little bit later to get an item that we need. That time is not quite now. We just gotta climb up out of this dark and dingy pit. And then we'll be able to climb up out of here. Ouch. There we go. Basically out of here. Ouch, that's not good. Timed that poorly, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and heal now. And then we'll continue. Oh, hello, guy. Ow, I was not supposed to hit you. Anyway. So there's all that stuff. Let me check my map again. Yep, and then we're basically free to go up now. There's a couple, I guess there's an item or two that I could get there at the capital, but I'm not going to backtrack there right now because I don't strictly need to. I'll wait and do that when I have more things that I need to come backtrack and get. So we're just going to continue on by jumping up here. This is where we're required to go next. Like I said, another one of these guys that we can use. Oh, you can also use him to heal, which is nice. Slam down, actually. Okay, yeah, there's nothing to grab on this side. That's fine. We're going to continue on. Be in a little bit of a brighter area here. It's somewhat soon, I think. Hopefully. I'm tired of being in this mausoleum, that's for sure. I don't like dark areas in games. At least killing those enemies doesn't, you know, get rid of the light entirely. That's pretty nice little a little mechanic detail design that the devs did that I appreciate. Definitely a ton of Animus. Not gonna have quite enough to purchase everything, I don't think, but it could be close. Okay, well, I can't purchase everything anyway. I have to get an item before I can purchase one specific item from the merchant, which we'll come to. Oh. Somehow managed to avoid getting hit there. Jump up here. And then once we're here, I'm not going to go to the left yet. I do not need to, because what we can do at the left, I need another item to actually be able to complete that task. So like I said, not going to quite do that yet. We have another gate that we need to unlock, so let's in this direction to go, you know, go the long way around to be able to do it. Nice detail of this game is that enemies like actually kind of drop off ledges. They don't just patrol on one level for absolutely no reason, or rather I suppose for arbitrary reasons. I just accidentally hit that lever which opened that for me, which is nice. So you can definitely be jumped and surprised by enemies just kind of showing up from elsewhere on the level just because they aren't constrained to their particular spot. These enemies in this particular spot can be really annoying, even when you only have to hit them twice to kill them, but right now I have to hit them 3 times. Ouch. Ooh, barely survived taking another hit of damage there. Ouch. Okay, so that's that. Don't have anything else that I can inherently grab in that spot there. I forget precisely what it is in this area and where all of those things are. Just watch me get jumped by something that I forgot about. It'll probably happen. Definitely know that guy exists. I've been jumped by him a couple times already. Man, I'm 1 hit away from being able to heal. Where am I at? Okay, this direction will be a good place to go. This is actually where the merchant is. There's another healing spot as well, so we'll commune with the keeper yet again and enter the shop. Let's talk with you. A visitor? How do you do, dear traveler? Welcome to my small shop of lost limbs. Oh, I can smell a great deal of animus emanating from you. It arouses my nasal glands. This is simply an aroma that cannot be ignored. Perhaps you would be willing to part with some animus in exchange for the wonderful goods I possess. I'm certain a fair deal can be struck. It would appear your animus is much too raw for it to be of any use. Take this trinket, it will allow you to transmute it into a form that I can accept. Animus Prison, a crystal used in the transmutation process used to transmute animus in exchange for shop items. Be aware, there is a limit to the amount of animus the prism can transmute, and I simply cannot trust you to pay the difference. Surely you understand, traveler. With that out of the way, let's get down to business. To defeat the hunt. Yes, I made that joke the first time around, so we're gonna go with it. The reason is, the dark drinker here, I have to pay 700 animus. The limit for this transmutation is 400. This item here, I have to pay 450, but I can't, you know, do it now. We can acquire an item actually here very soon. I'm gonna go ahead and straight away go do all this stuff here to be able to allow me to get the animus transmutation piece that will give me more items. First thing that we're going to buy here is the skull. Slightly increases the amount of animus collected. Silent Descent, severed leg of a fallen swordsman, generate up to 3 stacks of increased aerial damage. Not sure how useful that's going to be for now, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the Silent Descent, the health shard here. I'm going to grab mithril ore, and I'm going to grab a second mithril ore. That's everything that I can afford for now. If I hadn't died that one time, I would have enough to be able to get the Silent Descent, which is terrible. But there's a leg that I can get here, there's a torso I can get, and then of course an arm. I think that's an arm. No, that's just straight up an ability that I can get later. So we'll come back around to all of these a little bit later, pretty soon actually, so we're going to backtrack just a little bit. I thank you for your patronage, traveler, and we will continue on. So, if you recall, did I even talk about what we're going to do? No, because we can't go to that item yet. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to travel, go all the way back to the smith. We're going to talk to him because I have the 2 ores from here, and I have all the ores that I've gotten up to this point. I believe I should have 4 of them by now, maybe 5, definitely 4. So I'll definitely be able to upgrade one thing that I can get with the smith. But there's one other thing that I can get for sure at this point with the items that I have with the vial of gold and the skull. We'll come back to that a little bit later when we talk to the smith. So that will be here in not too horribly long. Just going to backtrack a little while, and of course I should probably, you know, kill a bunch of enemies, break some pots and stuff to acquire a lot more animus yet again. Oh, that was me being a silly goose. I don't want to fight these guys very much. I don't like them. Definitely not in this spot. Or I guess I can fight them here. That's not too bad. Or maybe that's still going to be super annoying. I've had worse fights so far in the game, I say as I just get hit again. I'll take the animus though. I'm not going to complain too much. Oh, I forgot about you. We'll take it. Mostly worried about just getting all the animus that I can as quickly as possible so I don't have to deal with it later. Ow. I also forgot about you again, like the silly goose that I am. One hit away from being able to heal again. I would like that. Thank you, game. Oh, wow. That's not great for me. Anyway, I'm still not going to be able to buy all of the items from the shopkeeper immediately, but I'll be able to get plenty of them. Let's go ahead and interact with this so I can refill all my healing and everything. That'll be useful. Let's try to avoid getting jumped by any other enemies. Much easier said than done. Jump across over to here. Should be coming out of the mausoleum here relatively soon. I'll just go ahead and go straight up. I'm not worried that I'll die, and if I do, then it's not that big of a deal. I'll just spend the extra couple of minutes back traveling again. Tracking, that's the word I was looking for. But because, see, items like this keep on respawning, it means it's pretty easy to keep acquiring animus, even with backtracking. Even if you're not backtracking way too super far, you're backtracking enough. And since we're going to be doing a couple bouts of backtracking here, we'll be able to get enough animus to be useful. Speak to Brocker. Is that a vial of gold in your hands? Such a rare substance, I cannot imagine how it came into your possession. Hand me a basic skull and that vial and I can produce something special for you. See, those 2 items can craft the Face of Splendor. Give me a moment, let me get to work. Here you are. Magnificent, isn't it? I hope it is of great use to you. And of course it will be. We're going to go ahead and apply that right now. We're gonna put on the Face of Splendor, where the basic skull increases animus by a little bit. This one greatly increases the amount of animus collected, so this will be wearing for a good long while, for as long as we need to get as much animus as we need. Anyway, we're going to backtrack once again through the Grey Mausoleum to a particular location. Remember where we could have gone left and I said we weren't going to do it yet? That is what this mask is for. Now we're going to be going that direction. Let's go ahead and head down. And then we'll have to backtrack one final time because of an item that we'll have at that point. Dying isn't going to be worth being closer to stuff, so I'm not going to act like that it will be, so... Actually, you know what? Saving there would respawn enemies, and even though I don't like fighting some of these enemies, it will be useful for the purposes of for the purposes of just having more animus. So there's that. Let's see, what items have I not bought yet? I need 700 plus 450 is 1150 plus another 300. I need 1450 animus to buy all of the rest of the items from the merchant that I have not bought yet. Good to know. Need 1,000 more of that. Don't think I'm going to be able to acquire all that in the time that I'm going to be searching for it, but I will certainly try my best. Just gonna jump straight up through here. Kill you while we're at it. Give us 1 or 2 extra animus, rather. Dive, roll out of the way, and then continue going left. Break a couple more crystals for several dozen more animus. You weren't supposed to hit me there. How rude of you. Anyways, we're gonna climb back up into here, jump up, and now we're going to take a left. And here, left is where we're going to be able to use our item. Yep. Oh, I attracted both of them. That's not great. Well, at least I got one of them done before the other one came back around to bother me. There's both of you, gonzo. Good riddance. Inspect. With a veil of splendor, blessed are the sightless and patient. Because I have the face of splendor, veil meaning basically the same thing. Blessed are the sightless and patient. If I just stand here for a little bit, because I'm wearing the face of splendor, patient, and look down, it will give me this item. The item is the Crow's Visage. Now you remember that door that I said that we couldn't enter until we, had an item that we could put into it? That is what the Crow's Visage is for. Oh, there's this. I didn't break this. Nice, I'll take it. So now we're going to backtrack all the way to the mines to be able to get an item from there. Yeah, we'll just continue on, whatever. Oh, never mind. This isn't the right way anyway. Need to continue further right. It's a rather simple map design at this point, because it's just a demo. I presume that the full game will be a good bit more complex. Let's go ahead and kill you while we're at it, just for the extra animus. Cool beans. I'll take an extra 10. Do a few rolls. Go into the next room and then take the elevator upwards. And then we'll continue going left. Let's see, how much of the map? Okay, yeah, it doesn't seem like there's that much. I guess now that we're going to be backtracking this direction, there is that downward chute you can probably see there, pretty close to where the Thorned Capital and the whatever mines, or whatever they're called, intersect. You see an area that we can go down into. We're going to go down into there first, because that's part of the backtrack. That'll give us another item that we need for the 100%. Oh. That crystal hasn't respawned yet, unfortunately for us. Actually, we didn't even decide to upgrade an item with the smith while we were here, so let's go ahead and do that now. Welcome back. Have you returned for something in particular? Yes, I have. Okay, I have 6 of the 9 ore. Do I increase the damage, or do I increase the number of flasks? Well, considering that there's only one more boss, and the boss is the main thing that I need the extra healing for, I'm going to go ahead and sharpen the scythe first. That means that I only need 3 ore. A sharpened blade, worthy of a butcher. Indeed. That means that we can kill enemies quicker. The only problem with doing this particular upgrade means that now it actually is a little bit harder to refill our healing flask, because it requires... because it doesn't... It's harder to refill the healing flask, if I could, get my mind straight while I'm fighting an enemy, because less hits to kill an enemy, which means, you know, more enemies to refill the flask. So, but I like the element of refilling the flask through a certain amount of hits. Encourages you to play somewhat offensively, so that if you're hurt or if you need to refill your flask, if you need the extra healing, that's the best way to do it. I won't hit the keeper there. I don't need to. All these enemies are already respawned and everything anyway. So we'll go ahead and jump here. Actually, I didn't want to do that, so we'll let this go ahead and respawn here in just a bit. While I'm at it, I'll come up here and break this crystal again so I can have more animus. It'll be supremely helpful. And then we're going to dive down. Dive down in here where we can... Oh, never mind. I guess I've already gotten that item. Who would have thunk it? Oh, this isn't the particular dive that I was needing to make. Haha. Funny me. Silly me, either. Anyway, whatever. Sometimes English is hard to come up with when it's late and you're tired and you're also busy playing a game at the same time. Speaking, narrating while I'm playing is not something that I'm particularly skilled at, we shall say. I do not quite have enough practice with it. I'm getting there, but I'm definitely pretty far from it. Now, who messaged me? Oh, that was just my notification due right in my journal. We'll go ahead and dive down here. This is the place we were supposed to dive to. Come to the left, and there's a chest. And this chest has something. I don't remember what's in this chest. Oh, a mithril ore. We'll take it. That means that I only need 2 more mithril ore to be able to upgrade my scythe, which is great for me. Continue backtracking just a little bit further, not too much further now. At least I can kill the enemies a lot faster. That's pretty nice. Especially when I can surprise them with the backstab first. Okay, now we're down to this spot. And we can open this door. Interact. There she be. Door is opened. That means we have an area here where we can interact with this. And that will allow us higher transmutation. Now we can transmute 700 animus at once, so we can purchase the rest of the items from the merchant. You know, presuming that we have enough animus to make those purchases in the first place. I do not believe that we will head directly back to the merchant to attempt to make those purchases, because I'll still need, you know, several hundred more animus to be able to do that. It wouldn't hurt to do so, but it'll be a little bit more of a waste of time than I can justify at this exact second, or that I would like to justify at this exact second, I suppose. While I go ahead and continue forward in the game. I mean, unless I get enough animus or am close enough to having enough animus as I get back to that location. If so, then I'll just go ahead and grind for like 5 minutes or something, get the rest of it and just purchase everything right then. Because I have the Veil of Splendor on and can acquire a lot more animus this way, that'll make my life a little bit quicker and easier in this regard. Yep, so we'll continue on. Backtracking once again, but this time backtracking to get to just kind of continue the story. I believe I just broke this crystal, so it's probably not respawned yet. Yep, that's what I thought. Just wanted to make sure. By this point, it's been long enough that talking to the Herald again won't actually respawn anything. Yeah, nothing there. But I'll go ahead and talk to him anyway, just in case. Actually, that's probably a bad just in case, because the Herald that I had talked to previously was closer to where I probably technically wanted to be, just in case I died. Oh well, it is okay. Now I have full health. Let us continue forward. Yet again. Definitely fight you one more time. I would actually pay attention to your tells. It would probably help me a little bit. Now that I am very hurt yet again. Well, I just healed, but you know. Hurting for healing, we could say. Ooh, yes, this respawned again already. That's nice. I'll take it. 900. Really, I only need a few hundred more animus to be able to continue on. So if I look at it, to be able to get back to the merchant up there, honestly, I could probably make it back and not have to do very much grinding. I could continue on to the next area and then just immediately go back when I have enough animus. It would not be that difficult. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now let's heal at you now, so we don't have to do quite as much backtracking in the event that I do die. Oop. Swung the wrong direction for that. Nearly launched me right into the spikes. That wouldn't have been great. Yeah, so I guess I'll continue on and fight all of the enemies yet again. Okay, game. Please do an upswing and a downswing when I tell you to. Ouch. There we go. Little bits of animus. I'm glad that the birds actually give quite a bit of animus. That makes life a little bit easier. 10 each for just those things is pretty great, actually. Interact with you. Slam downwards. Oop, crystal respawned. Perfect. Super helpful. Oh, I forgot about you. Ow, you did 2 damage to me? That's unfair. This one didn't respawn though. Curses. Do I want to fight you again? I suppose I do. Whatever. Yeah, I'll take the extra 10. Never a bad thing to have that much extra. I'll go ahead and go up this direction just to fight the enemies again. Oh, darn. I spawned both of them again. Didn't go very smoothly, but that's okay. I just want the extra moolah. Basically all I care about at this point. I guess I'll go up and around to get even more moolah. I just did that for the 15,000th time. I'm probably going to die here just out of sheer foolishness. And if I die, I'll lose too much animus to have made it worth it. Go ahead and heal before this guy tries to attack me. Ow. I hate that parrying the flying enemies there doesn't, like, you know, knock them out of their animation. That would be nice if it did that. Like a little reward for attacking them in those situations. I'm just going to continue on past these two. I don't want to fight these ones. Actually, I can fight you in this particular circumstance. That's not too bad. I guess I'm only a few hundred animus away from being able to afford stuff, so I might just be able to go straight to the merchant. Probably not, but I'll be pretty close to it. Go ahead and break this. Actually, yeah, I'll be very close to it. I forget what exactly I have. It's like 1,300, so let's just go ahead and come into this area. There's a couple things that I know I can grab pretty early on. And then I'll just do a quick backtrack as soon as I'm done with all of that. This is blocked off by that. That's all right. Once I'm through this like sort of bigger area here, I'll definitely have enough. So I'll call that good. Heal. Oop, I forgot about the archers. Yet again, I always manage to do that. Yeah, I'll definitely have enough. I forgot about you guys. Thank goodness I can kill flying enemies in just 2 hits now. Another enemy breaking through a window. How fancy. What's up here? Should be something up here. Oh, another enemy. Ooh, ow. That charge hurt a little bit. But I wanted to fight you, sir. Game? Okay, I wasted my time chasing after this guy. Okay. There's a secret here that I discovered accidentally the first time around as well, so that's a mithril ore. That's pretty nice. We'll go ahead and kick that to allow myself to use airways that way. And actually, I forget exactly which levers go to what, so that allows me to do that. I forget where another lever is to make my life even easier for a straight up complete shortcut. I don't think it's in this room, but I remembered something in this room that I had no idea what it actually went to. Oh well. Not too big a deal. Actually, I do know where the last switch is. We are perfectly okay. Let's go ahead and backtrack just a tiny bit here. Not much, just to another portion of the room. Oh, you already respawned. How helpful. I can definitely afford everything now. Perfect. That means I can now use this to come up into here. There's this crystal. I can use this switch, and that will unlock that. Perfect. That is exactly the shortcut that I wanted. And then over here is an item. Grasping Roots. This is the item that I wanted a good long while ago. So let's go ahead and equip that. Yeah, let's put that on. Let's take you off. Do I have the other leg item? I don't, because I have to buy that first. We'll call this good for now. I like Grasping Roots because Grasping Roots, I'm pretty sure is the... Yeah, increases melee attack range. Yeah, so that's what I want. I'm going to go ahead and dive down, and I'm going to go over to the far right and purchase all the rest of the items from the shop, because I have enough animus for it. Heck yeah, buddy. I don't think I'm going to bother to save here either, so I don't want to fight all those enemies again. Welcome back, traveler. Please have a look at my fine wares. Yep, we'll get the Dark Drinker first. Ancient Gauntlet crafted from obsidian. Press R1 while Over Malice is active to perform a Corvian Punch. Silent Ascent. The severed leg of a fallen swordsman generate up to 3 stacks of increased aerial damage while grounded. Stacks are depleted when landing after performing an aerial attack. And then a body covered with the mouths of fallen sightless. They appear to gnaw at the self. Increases malice restored when attacking enemies. It looks like you have acquired my entire inventory. I have nothing else to sell. Your patronage is much appreciated. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and come back over here and apply the leg. There you go. And now we're Gucci. We've got the items. Got all of those. So we're sitting pretty good for... Oh, I suppose I could change the mask that I'm wearing. I don't need to be wearing that mask anymore as a result of, you know, buying all of the items that there were to buy. So now we can continue on. I believe I have all of the items from this big room area here. Might be missing one of them, but for the moment we're going to call that good. 3 of the 4 ore here, so the 1 ore left that I need to get. Yeah, where is the last ore that I need to get? It's probably a little bit further on in the level, but that last ore will allow me to get the second healing flask, and we'll do that before we ever come up against the second boss. So yeah, I guess I'll be done with this in almost certainly sub 2 hours, compared to 5 hours, which is much nicer. When you actually know where stuff is and you know how things work, it's pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and dive down into here. Forget what it is that switch does. It probably unlocks this up here above. Whoop. Ouch. Just so that I don't have to deal with all this nonsense. Ooh, nice. Pick up mithril ore. There we go. There's the last ore. I suppose we should honestly just go straight back to the smith now and just upgrade that now. That'll be the best way to do it. I suppose if I knew that last ore was right there, I could have grabbed that before I came back to purchase all the merchant items, because then I could have done them both more or less at once. Would have saved just a handful of minutes in that endeavor, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I'll still complete this in sub 2 hours at this rate. I think it'll maybe even be as little as it won't be an hour and a half for sure, because we're right about there. But it could be like an hour 45, maybe. We'll see. Not counting on that, but it is a possibility. Definitely sub 2 hours though. That'll be easy enough. I don't need to break anything else. I don't have anything else to buy. It'll be hard for me to resist doing, but, you know. Picking up here, I'll go ahead and interact with this, even though that might respawn enemies by doing that. If so, oof, I didn't really want to respawn enemies. Doesn't seem like anything's respawned up to this point, and that is okay with me. I guess these enemies have, because they're far enough back. We're rolling, rolling, rolling. Take the elevator up, and then it's not too much further back. Just a few more paces, basically, to get back to the shopkeeper, or rather to the smith. Keep mixing up my terms and titles and whatnot here. Yep, he's just right here. Perfect. Enter. At least that better be all that I need. It should be. Welcome back. Have you returned for something in particular? I have indeed. I want my extra flask. There you are. A fine new flask. Perfect. I believe we have all the upgrades and stuff in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And I've done just about all the exploring there is to do. From that point further on in the game, I have that one last keeper spawn location to look at. Oh, there is one last thing that we have to do. And we'll do that pretty shortly. So we're just gonna, you know, backtrack once again to where we were. And then continue on. Of course we're gonna do that. That's the only thing that makes sense. Even so. Looking forward to being done with this pretty quickly compared to last time. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my first couple hours of the first attempt, even and up to including a lot of frustrating failed boss attempts on the second boss, mostly caused because I was underpowered, underleveled, because I didn't have basically any of the upgrades. It was mostly just the last couple hours where I was trying to do all of that extra upgrading and stuff that became frustrating. Oh, don't want to hurt myself on you. Oh, but I just hurt myself on you. How dare you? I took that personally. Jump atop all of these. Come over this direction like we're supposed to. Oh, didn't want to do that. I'll probably end up hurting myself. Oh, never mind, the enemies are still not here, because I haven't saved to respawn them. That is pretty good. So we're just gonna jump all up on here. This is a pretty quick and easy way to do it. Actually, I don't think I wanted to come directly this way yet. Oh, never mind. It absolutely is. We're doing okay. Let's go ahead and interact with this to restore my health. Climb up to here. Oop, ow. That was painful. Didn't want to hurt myself there. Let's go ahead and dive down into here. Restore all that again. Sure, I don't have any over malice to go with it, but that's okay. Okay. This is where I'm supposed to be. We're basically at the end here, guys. Pretty close now. Jump up on here. If we come... I want to take care of that enemy first, actually. I want to take care of both these enemies first so I don't have to lose health on it. Not that it'll change anything, but that's okay. Whatever. Here we are. Over here. And then we can enter this room here. And if I go ahead and come on here, I'll unequip this and this so that I can equip this. Jumping. You remember the bell on the house from the very beginning of the video? It's missing a bell. So if we jump around with the item that we acquired from there, we'll get the heart piece. I don't know precisely why that makes sense, but you know, that's the only justification that I come up with to explain it. But now I have a 6th heart piece. I'll go ahead and remove this yet again. Put on the leg and head that I had on before. I believe this is 100%. I'll laugh when I finish, you know, this playthrough and it's not actually 100%. That'd be pretty funny, actually. But we'll see how it goes. Then we jump this gap here. We speak to the keeper here to commune. And then this is the last save point where we're about to continue on, is the final boss of this demo. Now, this final boss is very difficult and frustrating if you don't have very many of these upgrades. Mainly because he just has too much HP. However, when you do have all the upgrades, you have like a 2nd healing flask, you have the extra damage. It makes a world of difference, man. I'll tell you what, it really does make a world of difference. So here goes. Go ahead and fight you. This guy has a couple of annoying attacks, most particularly when he's spewing a bunch of little guys like this. Oh, ow. I'm not doing particularly well. I mean, I'm not doing terribly, but I'm not doing well either. Okay, never mind, I am doing terribly. It's okay. Oh! That was a bad time to heal. Yes, kill your ad, please. Thank you. Oh, I don't know how I'm living. I can hardly see anything. It's just a little bit too dark in my room with all the lights on and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm gonna die. Darn it. I didn't even get it first try. That's annoying. Yeah, the ads are definitely a little bit annoying, even with the extra damage from being slightly low health or lower health, and with the upgraded scythe isn't enough to be able to kill any of the ads in one hit, which is really, really annoying. You have to kill them with 2 hits. And them just flying around when he spews them is too quick. Like, you can't reasonably dodge them at all. There's no way to actually dodge them. So it ends up just feeling like a lot of cheap damage for the most part. Get a couple hits off early, do my dives for major damage, do a lot of attacks directly just like this. All he spews is nonsense. Heal while you kill your ads for me. Ooh, I got a few stones kicked into him. That's good. Ooh, I got really lucky with that string of attacks there. I think I missed all 3 of those, which is unfortunate. But that's okay, because I can do a couple more descending dives here, or carrion dives, whatever they're called, and vanquish the filth. So it only took 2 tries. It's good enough for me. There we go, get 125 of those. I can heal, be at full health, and have both of my things, and complete the demo. Thanks for playing. We'll double check back in the menu again to check my percentage. I have 100% in a solid 3 hours less time because of a lot less backtracking and actually knowing where everything is instead of having to search blindly and then having to use a couple of guides to find random stuff or to figure out how to do a couple of things which were a little bit more difficult. But there you have it. Where's the proper button? Over here. Thank you for watching this Let's Play for the Crowsworn Backer Demo. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually had a lot more fun with the demo this time around since I kind of knew what I was doing and was able to acquire some of the extra upgrades and stuff earlier rather than being frustrated with that boss for 15 millennia. Either way, I really enjoyed composing this video. I also hope that you're willing to check out more Let's Plays in the future. This was kind of a one-off thing that I've been wanting to do ever since I got the backer demo. It would be kind of a shame if I didn't get to the backer demo before the game itself ever released. Still don't have a full confirmed date on that quite yet, but I'm looking forward to the full release nonetheless. The fundamentals here are pretty solid, if maybe a little bit rougher than a game like Hollow Knight, for example, but it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I really like the aesthetic as well, and I can't wait to contribute a poem for this game. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I can't wait to contribute a poem for this game's sort of an in-game backer library as well. Looking forward to being able to do that. Should probably write that at some point soonish so that I'm not trying to figure out at the last minute trying to do it when they actually contact me to get a poem written for the game. But either way, that will do it for this Let's Play. Thank you once again for watching. Stay tuned for the upcoming weeks. I believe I'm going to go right into the Remnant 2 Let's Play. Following this one, I'm going to actually edit together, put some of those together. Whether I split all of those recordings up, all those sessions up into multiple episodes or not, still undetermined at the moment. But I'll figure it out here eventually pretty soon. And then after Remnant 2, I'll probably have a couple other one-off, shorter, personal Let's Plays that I want to do basically just for me, while I'm still getting to a place where I can ever even stream at one point, and then we'll see what Josh and I are able to do at some point later in the year, assuming my time ever opens up to be able to do that. Probably this summer, maybe this summer, hopefully this summer, but we'll see what happens. Thank you one final time for watching this video. For now, I've been your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and I hope to see you guys next week in whatever I upload next, or alternatively on Mondays when I post my Music Mania episodes. If you're into metal music at all, I recommend checking that out as well.